Robert Mueller's Russia probe is moving to the White House and into the president's inner circle. White House Communications Director Hope Hicks reportedly prepping for her interview with Mueller's team just weeks after the indictment of two former Trump campaign guys, George Papadopoulos and Paul Manafort. Hope's long-term history and loyalty to the president makes her one of the most interesting players in this investigation. She's been in the room with the president for crucial moments in Mueller's probe, and she started answering questions about Russia as early as December 2015. So does she hold the answers to this investigation? And will she reveal all her cards? Joining me now, it's Dan Henninger. He's from the Wall Street Journal's. He's from the editorial page where he is the deputy editor. Dan, welcome back to the show.
Good to be with you.
So let's talk a little bit about this. She is a very curious person because she's been with the president for a long time. She's very loyal to him, and she's had access to a lot of those emails and meetings. What do you think Mueller is trying to get out of her?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, it's striking that he is talking to somebody at this level this early in his investigation. Normally in a probe like this, they leave the top-level people towards the end after they've talked to everybody down below.
Does that mean we're at the end of the investigation?
You know, that's what kind of would suggest to me, Kennedy, that maybe we are getting to this. I thought it was going to run through 2018.
Yeah.
But Trump's lawyer, Ty Cobb, says that by the end of a few days after Thanksgiving, Mueller will have interviewed most of the senior people in the White House. So I'm wondering whether maybe there just isn't all that much that he has come up with, and he does obviously want to speak to Hope Hicks about what she heard. And, you know, I have to tell you, if Hope Hicks, and she has been at Trump's side and in the room, we all remember that early in the campaign, and even in the early days of the Oval Office, it was kind of like a rolling circus, right? People wandering in, wandering out. And anyone who's listened to Trump knows that his conversations are very circuitous, doesn't stay on subject for a long time, and that she may have access to emails. But I suspect if Robert Mueller's lawyers are sitting down with her expecting her to give you like A, B, C, D of all of Donald Trump's conversations on this subject, they're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of recall she has as well. So what would you ask her? If you were one of the people who was in the room with her, you were one of the investigators, what's the first question on your list? My
big question would be, how do you explain, or how do you account, or did the president ever explain to you why he praised Vladimir Putin so many times during the campaign? Because to most of us, it made no sense. And honestly, Kennedy, I don't think any of this would be going on right now had Trump not lavished so much praise on Putin. You know, invaded Crimea, invaded Eastern Ukraine. Yeah. No one understood it. And so everyone has defaulted to these kind of secondary conspiracy theories that he had some deal going with Putin to help him undermine Hillary Clinton's campaign. I don't think that was it at all. But Trump, to this day, has never quite explained his admiration for Vladimir Putin. Well,
and people were still sort of put off by the way he categorized his conversation about, you know, the most recent conversation they had in Vietnam about election meddling. And the president said, I believe he means what he says. However, I believe our intelligence agencies. How clear of a picture do you think Hope Hicks can give into the president's psyche and into his motivation for, you know, something like that, which there may be deeper meaning than we realize?
If there was a deeper meaning, it would have come out by now. Others, like on the national security staff, would have had confidential conversations with reporters. I don't think Donald Trump was sitting down with Hope Hicks explaining to her at great length his geostrategic plans for Vladimir Putin. That wasn't her job. So I don't think that's going to emerge from this. Now, we have to keep in mind...
But back to those conversations that you said he had and not staying on message and being distracted by so many things. Clearly, she would be in the room for some of those distractions. And some of, you know, for example, some of the bigger conversations he had, like with the Prime Minister of Australia in the first few weeks of his term.
And she undoubtedly was in the room when he had conversations about the campaign with Paul Manafort, possibly even Carter Page. All of these people have been wandering through Donald Trump's life, and Hope Hicks has been at his side, or at least in the room most of those times.
Do you think she connects the dots and flips for Mueller in order to protect herself, or does she remain loyal to the president?
Oh, she'll remain loyal to the president, and I think she'll also tell the truth. She's not going to sit there lying to the special prosecutor. That would be a crime. But I think what Hope Hicks has in her head is snippets of snippets, and perhaps that will help Robert Mueller connect some dots. But the question is, what dots does he have at this point? He's indicted Paul Manafort for things that happened before the campaign, and George Papadopoulos for lying to the FBI. And keep in mind, his job is not to explain what happened. This isn't a commission. He's a prosecutor.
And he's not going to have the same kind of flowery press conference that James Comey had, explaining why he wasn't recommending charges for Hillary Clinton. Dan Henninger, thank you so much for your time.
Good to be with you, Kenneth.
Very good to be with you.